So normal people have a mouth routine of brushing their teeth, but yours is apparently more. So why can't you talk right now? You have the stuff in? Oh, it's the start of it, huh? Oh, it's coconut oil.
Yeah, so it helps like pull all the bullshit bacteria out of your mouth, and doing it in the morning, I've found has helped clean up my hygiene, my oral hygiene. I've always been super like insecure about my mouth. Queen Nikki came around and showed me this whole routine and self-care and, you know, all these things that was hard at first, but like attaching it to things and being able to, okay, as I'm oil pulling, I'll make my coffee and then I'll go, and then flossing and brushing and doing that every day, at least twice a day, has like really helped my mouth and you know, confidence, security. I'm a chronic mouth breather. Since I was a kid, I've always had nose issues and stuff, so it's caused a lot of issues in my mouth. And so now I've been mouth taping. So I've been doing little things to kind of start reversing this bad cycle of, you know, bad hygiene that I've had.
That makes sense.
I hate walking by my bed and it not being at least a little bit made. Because everybody has a opinion on what like you should be doing. You gotta try your best, and you know, I definitely like have been utilizing prayer a lot more, which I used to think prayer was so religious, you know, like in a way where like now I just kind of, before I leave, I'm just like, I thank the universe or God, like, hey man, thanks for what I have, thanks for, you know, what's coming, and I trust you and I appreciate you, and I'm gonna follow your plan, and give me the courage and, you know, power to surrender into it and trust you. You know, that's kind of what I use it for. But I mean, and just these little things like being disciplined, being consistent, being patient, being present, being intentional, you know, those are some big things. I'm not always present. This routine has caused me to be more present again, like having a woman who, you know, challenges you and motivates you to be better and kind of forces you to elevate. Like I wasn't as good at these things, you know, a couple months ago as I've been practicing. And, you know, she's introduced me to a lot of self-development, self-care routines and things that have really helped elevate me recently. Whether it's, you know, self-care of getting your hair cut, you know, every 1 to 2 weeks, and getting your eyebrows done, which we're going to go get done today. Ooh.
Really?
That was a good one right there. But it is funny how you get things done and you look better and you feel better and you're moving more confidently because you look put together and clean, you know? Cleaning up my beard every 3 days because it gets fucking, you know, necky, and it's like, well, I feel so much better after I clean it up, you know? It's just like remembering the things that make you feel good. Like after you get a haircut, you feel good. Why don't I do this more often? You know what I mean? You know, that's what was easy for me in sports, is like, well, if I don't do this, I'm not going to show up on game day, my best self. I don't do these little things. And when you're outside of sports, you're like, well, what's my game day? You know, well, my game day is being a good partner, you know, trying to build a kingdom, you know, showing up to boxing, like doing all these little things. Like you have little game days throughout the day, you know, and eventually you have the big game days, which I think are your goals. And now they're just a little longer periods of time than it is every week, you know. But so that's been a little hard transition, but I have to look at everything like a game or I won't do it. Nikki is my team. Mac is my team. That's like my little family. Strong Coffee is my team. And if I break it down that way, what's my job? And the thing for me was like, oh, I'm telling her that I want to have better hygiene or look better or whatever the case is, but I'm not doing the little things that equal that she's already shown me what to do. So she's sitting here like, if you don't do the little things, how can I trust you about any of the big things if you're not going to do the little things that you said you were going to do? Mm-hmm. And after she told me that, I was like, oh, and like this is coming from somebody who I've had the walk-on mentality instilled in me since I was a little kid.
Yeah,
I've outworked everybody that I know, as far as like sports wise, in my eyes. To me, like I'll put myself against anybody when it came to like my work ethic, doing the little things consistently, waking up. I'm the first one in the locker room. Getting into life has been a little more difficult with those things, right? Because I'm like, well, how is my mouth going to make me a better football player? Well, the reality is it does. It's a small thing that how you do anything is how you do everything. But as I've gotten older the last couple months and year, you know, I started to fall off of those little things that made me me, that made me uncommon, you know, because I was like, well, what am I working for? Well, it's like, dude, you're working to be the best version of yourself. And so she holding me accountable, like, you said you wanted to do this. I'm holding you accountable to the standard that you set for yourself. So it's not even like she's holding me to a standard that's like unreachable. She's reminding me what the fuck I said I was going to do and what I was, you know. And so, yeah, without her and her accountability, you know, it's funny, like even last night I send something, if, you know, I cleaned up my beard and I send it and it's like she has feedback, you know, about where it's lined up. And it's like, in the moment I do get upset. I do get, you know, I do get a little butthurt, or I get like a little like, damn, bro, like, but that's showing that she loves you, you know, like she just wants you to be your best self. And it can come off to some people as nagging, but, or, you know, too much feedback or whatever. But I had to learn to like accept that form of love, because all she wants me to do is be my best and do the things right. So if I do it right the first time, then there's not going to be feedback, right? Because I do get away with shit. Well, you know, just, you know, well, because everybody else has let me get away with some of that shit, which is probably why I haven't reached my full potential in certain areas. She doesn't let me get away with it. So, I mean, having a partner, a best friend, I mean, my best friend Luke's like that as well. He's held me accountable my whole life. So I'm surrounded by a pretty good fucking support system of people that hold me accountable, and like really hold me accountable, that don't let me get away with shit. I used to just sit in the mirror when I was a kid, when I was like, man, I want to look like this. I would just envision myself yoked and shredded and sit here and like look at yourself like, are you good with yourself today? You know, like, are we feeling good? Are you doing the shit you need to be doing?
Yeah.
And I just look at this and like, yeah, well, if I've done most of that, then I'm okay. And again, this is an ideal morning.
Yeah.
You know, like, this isn't, I'm not perfect every fucking day, you know? But I do the things that I need to do for the most part consistently. But small actions compound into huge gains, you know, the compound effect. And these are all just like positive affirmations that I'll read as I'm brushing my teeth, or, you know, my favorite ones are like, Coach Leach, be the best at doing your job. What's my job today? You know? Manifesting abundance, man. Manifesting abundance. Dude, he's so fucking cute. It's so hard to leave him. He's so handsome. Son, you're welcome.
The only thing that separates someone who would be maybe considered an artist is the ability to convey a story or perception of the way we see the world, but we all see it in a very unique way.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what got me into photography.
I love that, bro.
You know? People like us who are very enthralled with growth and wanting to become a better version of ourselves.
Yeah.
And in order for that to happen, change needs to happen, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, where do you change, and what parts of your life, if you change them, are they inauthentic?
I do think that there's intuitive feelings as you're going through these things that tell you when a new character is arising and that it's time to express this new version or this new character and try new things. And I think that it's day to day. Because like, we can change moment to moment.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, I don't have to be the same person I was in the bathroom, you know? I don't have to be the same person I was yesterday. I think, like, normalizing that, because that used to be a thing, oh, dude, you're changing. Like, yeah, we are supposed to change.
Yeah, 100%.
That's evolution.
If you aren't changing, that's
how you die.
Yeah, that's actually how you die.
Yeah, it's, you know, I mean, because then you're not evolving. You're not, I mean, people right now that aren't evolving to technology and AI and all these things are dying as companies, as people that aren't acquiring new skills. So I do believe that you know deep down what feels authentic by it feeling almost effortless. You know, I think by the idea of surrender, where like you just feel like you're flowing or catching a wave, and like you're just naturally moving through life where it doesn't feel forceful. When you're starting to force things, I think that's when there needs to be change. But I'm also a firm believer in that resistance equals, you know, the resistance hits hardest at the finish line. So I do think resistance equals growth, where I'm starting to catch a little resistance from certain angles. Like, I think that means to keep pushing to a point, and then, okay, maybe I pivot, right? Like, so I think it's all by the individual, but when it comes to change, I do think there's some things that like you innately can't change about yourself.
Yeah.
Like almost there's like a core value to you that like will always feel authentic of like maybe you do certain things or act a certain way and move a certain way and like that's authentic, but I do think there are characteristics that we constantly maybe I've outgrown that or I've outgrown that person.
It's just funny because I know that there are things about myself that make me great, but those all those things that make you great are oftentimes the same things that are your worst enemy. You know, and your worst.
It's always a double-edged sword.
It's always a double-edged sword, and so
like loyal to a fault, right?
Yeah, and so I get in these places sometimes. I think even in my professional career, where I go, "Am I too much of this? Am I not enough of this?" And then you go down this rabbit hole, and you end up losing yourself in that rabbit hole in a way where you go, "Do I stay true to myself? Because if I give this up, that's the best part of me. That's what makes me the whatever good I have is because of that."
Yeah.
If I'm having to change that, you know, and oftentimes this is you working for people, right? In a team setting, it's like so that's kind of the question.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that you change it if it feels good to you. Like changing for yourself is one thing. Changing to make somebody else happy or to fit somebody else's mold or ideal version of you.
Yeah.
That's not being self-expressed. Whatever makes you feel the most self-expressed, and like the idea of you being an artist or working with somebody or whatever it is, it's art. So it's not going to be for everybody. It's supposed to be subjective.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be polarizing, and so you're going to be someone's perfect fit. You know what I mean? You're going to match somebody's style or a personality or partner or job or whatever the case is perfectly. But if you're changing it, then they're gonna like this. Changing it for anything other than yourself, and they're liking this idea of you that's not even actually you, right? So at the end of the day, your true self's gonna come out at some point. They're gonna be like, "Well, you've changed." Like, no, well, this is me. That's how happens in relationships all the time. Where like people are changing for their significant other, but it's not an authentic change. Like, and that's something that me and Nikki always talk about. Like, I'm not gonna do something that I don't feel like I should do for you. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be my best version of myself for myself, which is a byproduct of being the best partner I can be. But if I'm changing just for you, then at some point I'm gonna resent you, right? Or resent the job, or resent the boss. So it's like, yeah, man, I do think that you know exactly what your true self is and true north. I'm working with this dude Brady Hutchins. I went to high school with him, but now he's getting into coaching and like holistic lifestyle stuff. I've had some amazing mentors throughout my life, and but his idea is true north, and it's like, you know, the truest version of yourself, or you're not getting knocked. Like, what's your true north? Like, what's always pulling you north? And
that's so funny, man, because I think, you know, I never really thought about it until we are having this conversation right now. But you know, looking back, I don't know if I was as authentic to. I probably did things because I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
Exactly. Not because you really wanted
to. Not because I really wanted to.
I'm guilty of it, dude. I'm guilty of it daily. And that's what made me quit football, to be honest with you. Like, I quit football because I was trying to be everything that I thought I had to be for scouts, and taking my piercings out. I had long hair and I cut my hair because I didn't want to look like a hippie, and like all these things. And it was just like, man, I'm doing things like I feel like a fucking show pony. Like, I'm just trying to make these guys like me,
so that way I can make it to this.
Yeah, for what? And then you make it, but you're not even your real self.
Yeah,
so
I know.
It's like
you gain everything and lose yourself in the process.
So what I think is the idea is when you're doing the constant work in a routine, giving yourself time to, you know, alone. Like, you know, that's why Nikki and I are big. Like, when she lived here, she had her own room, and now we're living in separate spaces, because it does give you the space and time to identify what's really yours and what's really for you and what you really need to do. Because deep down, like, Caleb knows what Caleb needs to do to feel his best. And if you're not doing that, you're slowly drifting away from it. It's like, that's what I think surrender is every moment to moment doing the thing that you think you need to do in that moment to be the best version of yourself for you.
Yeah.
Because if you're your best self, some people aren't going to like it. That's like, fuck them. Like, I don't know, you know, if you don't like it, well, fuck you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You're either with it or you're not. And if you're not, then that's cool. I'm going to keep it pushing. And when you're doing that thing that feels authentic each moment to moment, you're going to naturally attract the things that are for you anyway. And the things that aren't are going to naturally fall to the side. It's pretty crazy how it happens when you start choosing you and you start doing the things that feel authentic in the moment and expressing it. If it's painting, if it's video, whatever the case is, and just doing you and not giving a fuck about what anybody else thinks. It's crazy how things just naturally come to you. It's like this book I'm reading, it's called The Power of Awareness, and it's like this law of assumption, right? If you're just moving and assuming that you are the artist guy, that's how you're moving. I'm assuming that I'm the artist guy. Then the world will start acting and responding as if you are the artist guy, because you are. Right? So the moment that you decide that you are, people will start treating you that way.
Yeah.
But it's like when you're confident and just assuming and rolling with like that's who the fuck I am, then you're treated that way. It's like the law. It's like what you are, what you are, right? Like what you believe in. That's what like the mirror thing in the morning is huge, man. Like who the fuck am I? Like, you know, if I think I look a certain way, or if I, you know, and you kind of fall through different levels of it. Some days you have a little imposter syndrome. Some days you don't. Some days you feel super fucking confident because maybe you just smashed a video that got a bunch of views. Like, it goes up and down, but if you can find the consistency with a routine or something that holds you down. But the law of assumption is something that's really come up with, like, if I just move and assume the best case scenario, then most of the time that's just gonna fucking happen. Because we spend 99% of our time going down rabbit holes of things that are never gonna fucking happen, stressing ourselves out about things that will literally never even reach the surface of anything.
So true.
I always have to say bye to Mac, though. He always sits here and he gets upset when you leave, but let him know that I'll be right back. It's okay. Be right back. He doesn't like being on camera, but it's okay.
It is. It's the start of the show.
Boxing has been a saving fucking grace, man. Ariane, the fucking man, dude.
He is.
Ariane is one of like the most genuine human beings like I've ever met in my life.
How did you meet Ariane?
I was posting that we were going to be at these events, and you know, he was like, hey, I'm going to be at this event. I think talking through Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. But I was like, yeah, dude, for sure. And he pulled up, with Kat, and you know, they hung out for like 2 hours, and you know, fucking awesome. I was like, dude, man, this guy's fucking awesome. Like, Kat was super cool, just very, you know, genuine, great conversation.
Yeah.
I'm a very, you know, I'm very much an empath, so I feel like really feel good vibes, you know, and right away I just felt like, man, this guy's fucking awesome. And then we started talking, and he was like, dude, I see that you're into jiu-jitsu, like, you know, are you trying to like fight or anything? And we kind of talked, and I was like, yeah, man, like, I'd love to get in the octagon. That's like always been my goal, you know, like 2024 was like kind of a goal I've been kind of setting aside. He was like, well, dude, I would love to train you for striking. You know, I'm a boxing coach, and I've learned from some amazing people. He's like, there comes a point in time where, you know, you have to give back to, you know, the sport or people, or, you know, he's like, it's my turn to pass this knowledge down and give back. He's like, you know, he's like, through you. And so I am also in a stage where I'm trying to relax and receive, but man, it's been an absolute fucking blessing. He's such an amazing boxing coach, but an even better human, and we have such amazing conversations, and his coaching style just matches my style of how I do things perfectly. He lets me just kind of do it and gives me feedback, and the way that we kind of communicate is amazing. But I mean, for him to offer to take care of me, and even in the beginning, man, like when we first started, you know, like I was just so scatterbrained, like I'd show up late, or I would, you know, forget a day or something, and I'm like, dude, this is his time that he's taking out to like take care of me. And then once I kind of just made the decision, like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna quit rolling, I'm gonna quit doing all these other things, I'm just gonna strictly focus on boxing for a little bit. I really started to feel it take off, and I've been boxing for like maybe like 2.5, 3 months now. The fight journey has been interesting because, you know, I played football and baseball in college at a high level, and that's all I've known since I was about 4 or 5 years old was, you know, football, baseball. I did wrestle and did jiu-jitsu a little bit when I was a kid. MMA was my first love. I grew up in the, you know, Chuck Liddell, Rampage Jackson era. I used to sit there and binge watch The Ultimate Fighter on Spike TV. I was obsessed with fighting. I loved it. I mean, me and my cousins would always pretend to be WWE people when we were kids. Like, I've always loved the idea of like mixed martial arts. My dad was a big Bruce Lee fan, so it's always been kind of around. All my uncles, they're family friends, but they're my uncles, you know, own gyms or were fighters, you know, down in Costa Mesa and Orange County, Huntington Beach. So I've been around it a lot. But, you know, as you get older, you kind of start to choose having to choose your path of like what you're going to kind of specialize in. And I always had a natural ability as a wrestler. I always showed like wrestler jiu-jitsu. I didn't love wrestling because of I didn't like the singlet, to be honest, and then I also didn't like being on my I like being on my back when I'm on the ground. Probably not the best in fighting sometimes, but like as far as grappling, I liked being on my back. And so I didn't really love wrestling, but even as a kid, I showed little sparks of like a lot of potential. To the point one of my uncles was telling my dad, like, hey dude, like I'd love to just train him, you know, like full time. And my dad's like, he's a football, baseball kid, so we stuck to that and took me to a high level. But throughout that process, right, it's very masculine. And I don't mean masculine as in manly, I mean masculine as in the energy that you're taking on when you're doing these types of sports. It's very, very structured and aggressive and violent, and you know, and you can even go through it not being violent, but at the end of the day, football is a violent sport. At the end of the day, there's violence to be had, right, in these sports. And so going through that process for so long of like being masculine and violent and all these things, and you know, getting to a high level in football and baseball, and then getting to the point where, you know, COVID hit and, you know, happened to a lot of different fucking people and all these things, it kind of changed the course of my direction, where I was training for the NFL and doing these things. And, you know, I have a lot of great mentors in my life, as I've said, and Matt Coleman, he is an excellent holistic life coach, holistic practitioner, and he's just an amazing human being, and he works with several athletes of the highest levels and people. And he was training me for our NFL Pro Days, and we just had a conversation, and he was like, hey man, are you your fully expressed self when you're playing football? And I was like, absolutely fucking not. I'm not fully expressed at all. I'm kind of back to our conversation where like I'm trying to fit this mold of something I'm not actually am, you know. And so I quit football the next day, and after I quit football, I like, you know, you're extreme masculine, you're around all these dudes and these people and fucking, you know, just this energy. And then I switched and went to the other extreme the last couple years of like feminine, like diving into my feminine side and being artist, being creative, being free flowing, not having a lot of structure, like exploring the depths of my creativity and all these things. And it was great because it's made me holistic, and I am very obsessed with the idea of the warrior poet. You know, I love the idea of being able to tap into both energies, but at the end of the day, I'm a fucking warrior. And I was sitting here the last couple months really going like, man, I still have some warrior left in me. Like I love being the man in the arena. I love performing. I've played in front of 100,000 people before, right? Like, and that's what got me off. Like, I get energy from the fucking crowd. And football is a team sport. I love fighting because it's on you. And if I'm going to put my work ethic or myself against anybody, I'm going to bet on me every single time, because in football, I can outwork everybody, but if I don't get the ball thrown to me, then, you know, that's out of my control. Where it's like fighting and these individual sports were always appealing to me because I'm like, oh, it's on me. And so finding boxing, getting back into jiu-jitsu, and I was blessed because, you know, I when I first moved out here, I moved out here to take over a gym that fell through. But in the meantime, after, you know, I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do, I heard Tim Kennedy on a podcast on Joe Rogan, and he said that he owned a school in Cedar Park. And I helped build an elite athlete middle school in California, so I had a little bit of my resume around schooling, like alternative learning schooling. I applied to Apogee and got hired the next day as the middle school teacher for Tim Kennedy's school. Wow. And one of the perks for Tim Kennedy's school was that you got to roll for free at Gracie Humaita. And I'm just extremely blessed to be around people that are such high level in certain sports. Like my uncles and cousins are all black belts back in Orange County, and during COVID, I got to train for 3 months straight, just going to the gym with them every single fucking day, getting my ass kicked. Took some time off, and then I get hired by Tim Kennedy. I start rolling again consistently for the first time in a long fucking time. And I'm around Tim Kennedy, and I'm around Giancarlo, who's one of the best grapplers in the world. And so I'm just being put on game, and I'm like, dude, I'd be so dumb to not try this. You know, I've learned from so many different people and all these things. So, you know, bringing it back to Ariane and him taking me under his wing. So now I feel like, you know, I got to a level of jiu-jitsu that I'm comfortable with. And then I feel like I'm understanding the art of striking. I want to get good at boxing, and now I feel like I'm at this level where I'm representing much bigger than me. It's like I want to go into a ring or an octagon and represent Ariane, and like I am a product of your coaching, man, and you pouring into me. This is a product of you, you know. So it's like it's much more than me now. So I feel like this almost like responsibility to go and put on and be a warrior and represent the people that have, you know, supported this journey. And it's funny because it's like anytime I'm doing anything, I get a lot of asks like on Instagram and stuff like, when's your fight? When are you gonna fight? So it's like, man, I feel like I've always wanted to get in an octagon. I've always wanted to get into a ring. So it's like, why not now? Why not me? And so Ariane's really helped me kind of pull that out of me, pull that warrior back out of me, and find that fuck you mentality and that walk on mentality that's made me great, made me accomplish things that I was never supposed to accomplish at a level. And so I'm very, very fucking thankful for him and just what has transpired because of this relationship. So that's the long way home, but that's how we met. That's why we're going there right now, is just because we've been doing it at least twice a week, 3 days a week when we can. So it's like, I'd love to get to the point where we're full-time training. But, you know, we're doing what you can right now. And I fucking love it. I absolutely love it. This is like therapy to me. Hanging out with him and getting to box, man. I let the hands fly.
It seems like you're really passionate about this fight thing and you really want to take it serious.
Yeah. So, I mean, Strong Coffee, first of all, extremely blessed. And I have gotten to a point where I do own it as my own. Like, I own that I am a pivotal part of Strong Coffee, right? Like, I do believe that's family. You know, Adam is family. But yes, at the end of the day, it's something that he started solely himself.
Yeah.
And, you know, it still is very much him. He's going to call the shots, and he's the head guy. So whatever he says, I'm going to do, and I'm going to follow it blindly.
Yeah.
You know, when he has feedback, if he asks for feedback, I'll give it. But for the most part, man, like, you're the head man, man. This is your baby, and I'm going to let you do that. And we've come together and have started some things where it's kind of both of ours, or where I'm in a more ownership type role in some of these things. But yeah, at the end of the day, for a while, I didn't have anything that was just mine. You know, like, I didn't have anything where it's like I could go and just do this just for me. And fighting is definitely that. Like I said, I love performing. So like, I love, like, football. Like, what got me through the hard weeks in the fall camps
was game day,
bro. Like, because I know that on Saturday I'm going to fucking Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon, and
where
playing
the
in front of
crowd is so loud,
people.
your chest shakes.
Oh, dude, I get goosebumps just thinking about it, right? Scoring a touchdown on ESPN.
Oh, man,
It's like there's no feeling like it. I mean, I can't imagine knocking someone the fuck out on television. You know what I mean? And, like, but also just getting into it. Like, the result of the fight, I don't really care about, man. It's the rush of getting into that octagon and having my family and my queen in the corner, you know, and, like, putting on for them and, like, you know, for myself. But, like, I love representing things bigger than me. So Strong Coffee scratches most of my fucking itches in life. I get to be creative. I get to collaborate. I get to be part of a team. I get to learn from an amazing human being, mentor, and man, that's gonna, I think, change the course of the CPG product world. So learning under him and being under him is, I mean, God, man, I mean, what I told myself before I joined Strong Coffee was like, man, if I stay with this dude for 10 years, I mean, God, by the time I'm, you know, at the time I was 25, so it's like, you know, by the time I'm 35, I'm gonna have so much experience and knowledge, you know what I mean? So I understand how blessed I am to be in that situation, but understand the importance of having something that's just mine. And fighting, is definitely, it's just funny, man. I've always wanted to do it. But I wanted to take the football route, which I think in the end has been the biggest blessing in disguise, because what I've learned from my body and about myself, and like it's different. I'm gonna bring a different athletic type of flair to it, like my own style, to where, like, if I didn't go that route, I wouldn't have had this unique perspective, you know, of athletics or my own ability to do certain things.
I think it's also interesting to like, again, going back to the story thing, but it is an interesting story, right? Because you're going to go against a lot of people who have fought, and that's the thing they did, you know? And then it's like, here comes this football player guy who thinks he can come in and be a fighter. And so like, it's back to the walk-on story again. You know what I mean?
1,000%. There's a guy, AJ Hodgkins, who's a Strong Coffee guy, and we've connected quite a bit, who's doing it as well, where he's doing it though. That motherfucker's in the ring in Octagon every week, bro, it seems like. So he's ahead of it, and he's doing this full time right now, where, and yeah, that is the thing, right? It is a cool story. I am, and the thing is, I have nothing to lose, bro. I'm not coming here saying, but my mind only registers like one thing, and it's like to go be the fucking best at anything I'm gonna go do. Yeah. And it's like, I do want to fucking, you know, fight at a high level if I can. And I know it's different, man. I know that it's easy to sit here and say that thing, and stepping into an octagon in a ring is different, but I'm not scared, and I never have been. I just want to get into a place where I feel comfortable with my ability, and I feel like my ground game is pretty solid. To an extent right now, to where I could take a little bit of time off to focus on striking, and then master this stand-up striking and boxing, and then head into Muay Thai, and then head into the octagon. You know, like, that's kind of the progression I want to take. But right now it's boxing, and I'd love to get a couple boxing matches under my belt. And like 2024, we're planning on getting some serious sparring in, and hopefully getting a fight in. And for me, it's hard, like, even practice, even in football, was always hard for me to always turn the switch on, right? Like, I'm a gamer. Practice is, you know, the mitts and everything is one thing, but sparring to me has always been kind of an interesting thing. Like, how do you fight technically, which is going to be new for me, where it's like, I just want to get into an octagon in a ring and lock the cage and like let the animal come out. Yeah. But I do understand that you have to channel it and learn how to handle it. Which is going to be tough, but I like to function in that realm. Like, that's why I love game day. Oh, it's Saturday. I get to fucking let loose.
So you kind of like to be just thrown into it and be like,
oh yeah.
Do you feel like you're eager to kind of like learn that way?
Yeah, I'm the guy that likes to jump in. I like to swim with the sharks, bro. I dive into the deep end, and it's like, cool, bro. Like, let's see if you can fucking swim, and I can. You know, I'm very much like, I just know myself. I don't like to learn slow. I like to fail, and fail often, and fail fast. Yeah. If I get in the octagon and get my ass kicked, then like, cool, I've learned a fuck ton. That's how I mean, jiu-jitsu is the same way, man. I show up and get my ass kicked daily, so that some point down the road, you're not getting your ass kicked anymore, and you learn so much about yourself, where that is how I like to learn. And, you know, I do understand the idea, again, of sparring and all these things, which I need to learn how to get punched in the face. I've never really been punched in the face. Yeah. I've taken a lot of hits in football, broken ribs, dislocated knees, separated shoulders, all kinds of fun shit like that. I know I'm a tough dude, but I do know that getting punched in the face is a little different, man. So I'm open to that. Yeah, it is, but it's like, I love it, dude. There's this funny clip. When I talk about there's still a little bit of warrior left in me, there's this great clip in Ballers, right, where I forgot the actor's name, but The Rock's counterpart in the movie or in the show, and they're sitting there talking about a business deal. He's like, man, you want to fucking fold and sell this company and lose $10 million on this deal? And he's like, are you not ready to fight? And the guy sits there, he's like, man, I fucking love war. You know what I mean? And that is how I feel. Like, I love war. Like, I love the idea of going to fucking war. Like, I get goosebumps just thinking about being with my team in a locker room and walking out into a fucking stadium knowing, like, hey, bro, we're going toe-to-toe. Right? Walking out as a captain. Like, dude, I mean, I walked out into center field as a captain to play against an Oregon squad where Justin Herbert was the starter, and this is their home opener, his senior year. And, like, goosebumps, like, looking, you know what I mean? And whatever, we didn't beat Oregon, but I'm just saying, like, the idea of meeting somebody halfway, looking each other in the eyes like, we're about to go to fucking war, and I have my fucking helmet, my shoulder pads, and I'm just using different weapons. Now it's these, as opposed to a helmet and shoulder pads, where it's like, and that transition after sports is really hard, man. And finding something for me to be passionate about again has been very challenging. Like you said, I do love strong coffee, but at the end of the day, it doesn't scratch that warrior itch for me. And like, fighting has always been so intriguing, and it's like I'm ready to step into an octagon and be the man in the fucking arena again.
How soon?
My goal is 2024. We haven't really, I don't know exactly when like a real fight. I would like to say like March, like to get like a legit fight under my belt, whether it's like a super competitive sparring session or it's a legit fight. I don't know. It'd probably be boxing first. You know, I definitely want to be smart about it because there's a thing about throwing yourself to the wolves, right? Like I think there's a strategy behind it. But I just want, and again, I'm not sitting here saying I'm going to do anything. I have an idea of how it would go down in my mind, you know, and who I am as a, you know, I'm a motherfucker, but you know, at the end of the day, I just want to do the accomplishment of getting into it and getting into the octagon and feeling that again, man. And it's a drug, dude. It's a drug being the man in the arena. It's a drug getting that attention as an athlete. And now I get it. Like, I played football a lot for the spectation of it, right? Like the viewer of it. This fighting is a lot for me. It's for me to prove to myself that I can do it, that I'm able to start from scratch again, that I'm able to, you know, get into a fucking octagon, a cage, a ring, where it's just me and another person, that I can come out on top and prove to myself. Because I love training. I love the aspect of fucking training and working out and getting after it, especially when there's a goal.
That build up to that game day, essentially. Yeah.
1000%, man. So, I mean, as soon as we get something on the schedule, you know, he's been talking to a lot of his people in California. I think we might do like a California road trip, maybe us, Ariane, and Adam, and do like a California coffee and fight club deal, and stop at a couple of gyms, do some sparrings, do some servings, you know. And also, like, my whole goal with this was, like, you know, my neck is the warrior poet piece, and my left side is the poet, it's the feminine, it's the Buddha, it's the yin and yang representing that, it's calmness, it's peace. And on this side, I'm gonna get the warrior side, the warrior mentality. I kind of have my piece already. My artist is in California. I you know, I'm pretty loyal to him.
Oh, good. Another reason to go out there.
Yeah, Mad Tatters. But my idea was to get this done, you know, right before, like, earning that piece. And I think I can earn that after I've done enough training and sparring, and, you know, and then set my first fight. I'd like to get it done, like, right before my first fight. As like a representation and a token of, like, hey man, you've chose this to go down another path. Because I mean, it relates, you know. It's funny because you talk to people about fighting, they're like, oh, you know, like, you know, I even think it's funny that fighting, I was talking to my dad, that I think fighting would be an easier journey for me than Division I football was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had no business playing Division I football, like, at all. Like, and excelling at the level I did, I have zero business. Like, I'm 5'9" white dude, 180 pounds soaking wet, and the people that I had to, the adversity and the things that I had to overcome to get there was, like, I think was way tougher than what I would actually have to do to like fight. And I'm not even saying at a high level, I'm saying like just entry level, and, you know, not saying that it's gonna be easy, just saying that I've been through hell and back through a sport that probably wasn't the best in my favor to chase after, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, when you've got like Brandon Marshalls and things, you know.
1000%. Like, dude, I had to block DeForest Buckner. Like, I don't know if anybody knows who that is. That motherfucker's like 7 foot. You know what I mean? Like, so it was just a hard road to get there. So it's just funny as I think about this path where I'm like, you know, like, that's why doing hard things is so important. Like, I'm no stranger to adversity or hard things. Like, I love it. I invite it. It's like, I look for the challenge. I love the unknown, and I love being fucking thrown in the deep end, and I love burning the fucking boats. And, like, I'll dive in on anything. I moved here on a fucking limb. I packed up everything and moved out here, you know. I dove into this. I dove into that. It's like, I fucking love it. And it's like, this is the next step. And, you know, it is hard. Now it's more challenging because I'm an adult and I have Strong Coffee and I have these other things that I do full time, that it's not like I can just dive in and train full time right now, which is interesting. But, you know, finding that's the adversity right now, is finding the balance and being able to balance this all out.
I guess it goes back to like what you really want from it, because the guy that, you know, the Khabibs that like really are like, this is my dream, like they don't do anything. They wake up in the morning eat breakfast, then train all day, then go to sleep, then wake up and do it all over again.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And that's was the mentality I had in football, right? Tunnel vision. And I want to get to a point where I think it'll get there for me. You know, I think Strong Coffee is going to take its course with us, and you know, we're set to go to the fucking moon. I think at some point it's going to be bigger than us, and hopefully by that point I've gotten a couple amateur fights under my belt to the point where hopefully it's made me some money or some type of ROI to where I can go, okay, it's time to dive into this for like 6 months to a year full time and see what happens, you know. So I'm gonna get there because I can't do anything half-ass or half-time.
Yeah.
It's like I can't do two things at once where it's like, you know, I mean I can to an extent, but like I think I could be a full-time, you know, training for fighter and do my other job for other things like on a different scale than what we're doing it now. We're still a startup and we need to be very involved, where I do think there's going to be a point where I have enough time to and money to be able to deter for a little bit and chase this. I mean, I'm only 27 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, if I gave this fight thing 3 years of my life, at the minimum, you know, because there's guys that are fighting into their 40s, you know, and you just got to take care of your body. And again, I'm not saying I want to make this a career. I'm not saying anything other than I just want to get my ass in there under some lights and see what the fuck happens.
See what happens. I like it, dude.
Go to
I like
fucking
it a
war.
lot.
We were in the gym and we're thinking about like nicknames and shit, and like too much just came into my head because like as a kid I was always too much. My teachers were like, you're talking too much, you have too much energy, you're too much, I love too much, I have too much passion. Like, and I told Arian, I'm like, I want to be too much for those motherfuckers in the octagon in the ring. Like, God, this motherfucker is too much. He's relentless. He just keeps on coming. And so that's where too much came from, because I'm very resilient and I'm very fucking relentless in my pursuit when I really want something. And so it's just interesting, man. It's going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds, this journey. And but man, like, just super fucking blessed to have an opportunity to...
The hyper masculine in me, you don't even understand how much I crave people like that. I need that in my life. I actively seek out the people like that in my life that are going to make me go, all right, motherfucker, bet. You just wait, bro.
Yeah. Well, it is the fuck you, man. It's like... And man, I've always been the guy where it's like, don't tell Caleb he can't do something. And that's where me and Adam really aligned, man. Adam is cut from the same fucking cloth at such a high level, man. You know, as a professional fighter, as a runway model, as a fucking Versace, like he's done everything at the highest level because he is that guy. Like, and that's where we've done it. I've only really done one thing, and that was football. And I took it to the highest level I could. I was really close and to touching my dream of having a cup of coffee, but the universe is funny and God has a greater plan, right? Like, I was so close to my dream, but there was a reason that I didn't get that cup of coffee in the NFL, and I think this is it. Like, I think I had to take a little reset rest period for the last couple years of that feminine energy exploration to reset my body to be ready for that warrior to come back out. And man, I'm fucking hungry, you know, and so we're about to go get this fucking session. I feel good talking about it. Aloha! How you doing, bro?
How you doing?
Good, man. Good to see you, brother.
See you.
How you been? You okay?
I'm better. Just got an Uber driver and put him into a class.
No shit.
Moving in, boom, 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 get out, get out. There we go.
I got my vocabulary. I need to get my vocabulary up.
I know, dude. That's the worst.
We're just doing letters, man.
Just letters, yeah. Don't
A. O. Y. Logo. Z. B. Y. Y. Logo.
That's it. 6, 7.
Apple. Logo. Asshole. Dude, those are hard. Like, I literally, every day I hear my podcast, I study more words, and I always forget to, like, think of any other words that.
Asshole and baby.
It's funny because like every time the Y or like Z/N comes, I'm like A and O you can kind of get away with it. But
the word and the idea like juxtapose each other. It doesn't make me admirable. It's distant. Nice. Good. That's it. There we go. Find it. That's it. Jab. Press it. Do it again. Yes, perfect. Jab. That's good. Here we go. Do it again. Yeah. That's it. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's nice. Jab cross. Yeah, you saw it. Jab cross. There we go.
constantly have a plan after.
Yeah.
Don't just come in with that. You have to have something to follow it up, like you keep saying, or get out and reset.
Yeah.
Like that's what I gotta get better at doing. Like, hey man, just get the fuck out. Like you don't have to stay in there.
Like I could do the same thing with you. A lot of coaches do this, right? They could do the same thing over and over again, where it's okay. We're just gonna go jab, cross, and slip, right? Slip, boom, slip. It's the same tempo. He doesn't learn shit. He doesn't know it. This doesn't teach him how to fight.
Yeah, this is just
Do it again. Easy work. Good first day back, yeah?
Take care of you for taking care of me, and then like be able to like full time do this, you know what I mean? Where it's like not taking 4 days off and then like itching, which is good. It made me realize I don't know if I want to get in here, you know, but like, and I'm doing what but it's also good for me right now to be creative. Like, okay, what can I fucking do, you know, by myself? Because it's just like the kid when you're a fucking kid. Oh, I can throw the ball against the wall and work on, you know, and work on my shit, or laying on my back and throwing the football up and catching it. Like there's ways to work by yourself, so it's making me get creative. Which I had a really big anxiety and fear. I used to like legit almost cry in college. One-on-ones would be like they'd say one-on-ones and my heart would start beating out of my chest because it's you and this other dude, man. And I used to, until I slowed it down and took it step by step and just worked on certain things. And it's all the same shit. It's just in a different form. And so I feel like I've conquered that one-on-one fear, and now it's just, I don't want to get hit. But it's not really a fear, it's more just like rewiring my brain on like, you know, because you don't have to worry about your face and a lot of things I've been doing, where fighting is like, you still have to, you know, MMA and boxing, it's 100%. Something's coming. So it's not just you fucking fighting for position, it's protecting and fighting. And that's what I'm trying to work on. I don't want to be too here. That's why I am noticing like when people get, I am in a more calm space than I would have been a couple years ago, where I would have been fucking, where now I'm like, you know, I'm a lot more like cerebral, like you said, as opposed to like wanting just to fucking fuck somebody up. That's the feedback that I'm saying one-on-one. Hey bro, you're telling me when you're changing direction, you're popping up, so I know that you're gonna, oh, okay, cool. Hey bro, when your hand's out here, this is what I'd be thinking. So it's like, okay, cool, what if I do, like that's real work. Okay, so now I'm knowing like, you come in, I'm gonna fucking keep you out, maybe pop, and then come back in, you know, like mix that front hand up, but that feels safe to me. And I have this to kind of block and move. There's some days where you just feel like my hand placement felt a little different, but that's like, I haven't been shadow boxing as much as I should have. There's things that like, I just gotta get better at getting that work in, of like on my own, where, you know, that's where the mentality switch is coming, where it's like, okay, I can start to get back into that mode of like treating myself like an athlete, or because I am, or a fighter, or like what would a fighter do? Like it doesn't have to be full time, but it can be. I mean, you can take an hour a day to practice your jabs and your, you know, your defense. And it's getting more comfortable with that movement in my stance, because sometimes I'd be getting caught, or I'm dropping too low, or his mentality is you just have to do it. Well, that's kind of what I got to get better at doing. It's like, no, dude, fucking just hop in with fucking whoever,
dude.
bro.
Like,
yeah, stop.
what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
You're gonna get tagged.
Yeah.
Oh well, this is boxing. If you want to
100%.
do it,
Yeah.
you might as well fucking do it.
Exactly, bro. How you actually learn to apply things as you go perform and you come back and you hit the drawing board.
Yeah.
So, hey man, I sparred this weekend. I kept getting caught with this. Like, yeah, okay, cool. Now we have something to work for. Because right now I feel like, okay, there's things to work on, but I think I'm just making the same mistakes because I don't have like that response from the other side as much. What do you want? How you doing there? Actually, I need to get a phone fucking holder again.
Oh yeah, I can't live without a phone holder like that.
I know. I actually might stop on the way back somewhere to fucking find one.
Sometimes when you're in a hurry, you leave your wallet.
Oh fuck, man! Story of my life, bro. That fanny pack, man. I'll take this from you. Thanks, bro.
Yes.
It's like my lifeline is my fanny pack, and all my stuff's in there. But the hard part about it is keeping track of it, man. But I've mentioned to you how self-care is a very big topic of discussion in my life right now, especially because I have been one that has constantly kind of neglected like self-care aesthetics. Like I've always cared about the shape I'm in as far as like physical shape, but when it came to like haircuts or beard trims or like grooming, I would let that get a little out of shape. And you know, a big topic of conversation is my eyebrow. I say brow because, you know, if I don't do something about this, I look like Anthony Davis type. It's there, you know? So when I was a kid, I was late to a baseball practice and I showed up and all my teammates were like, dude, why were you late? And I was like, I had a little cut and I was like, I was shaving my unibrow. And, you know, so I've been shaving it. Queen Nikki, you know, my partner, my teammate in life, the one that holds me accountable, you know, she has to like pin me down to the bed to you know, pluck it. And plucking, it hurts. First of all, let me get this straight. Women have a very, very, very high pain tolerance. Like the easy grooming and like things that I'm like, oh my God, like it hurts so bad. She's like, dude, man up. And I'm like, how do you guys just do this on a regular basis? So I went from plucking, and let me tell you, there is a huge difference between when your eyebrows are done and when they're not. It makes you look like a completely different person. This is before, you know, not a great sight. But we're about to go get the eyebrows done, and it is crazy how it kind of does. It makes a difference to like your perception and like your face shape and all these kinds of things. We went from plucking to I've gotten them threaded one time. It hurt like a motherfucker. It's like they're just ripping these hairs out, and it was excruciating, but it was worth it. It looked good.
Like one at a time?
Yeah, I mean like a couple, but it's not as fast. We're waxing, so we're getting them waxed today. This is my first time getting my eyebrows waxed. First time getting my eyebrows waxed. All I can think about is the 40-year-old virgin in my head. But, you know, we're going to see what happens. This is Nikki's eyebrow lady. She said that, you know, Nikki's the plug. She's like, walk in and tell her that you're my man. She'll take care of you. I was like, okay. It's under Nicole. The appointment's under Nicole. So I'm going to walk in and, you know, Queen Nikki sent me and we're going to see what happens. But you'll see the before and after.
Nikki the Plug. I like that
Nikki
nickname
the Plug.
for her. Nikki the Plug is what's up, man.
She is the plug, but she's on me about grooming and being well kept and being clean, and it does make a huge difference. Because it's funny, because like then I start to notice and I'm like, damn, my eyebrows look bad right now, like, you know what I mean? And it is funny. I never in my life thought I would be going to an eyebrow waxing appointment. Let me fucking tell you, but. You know, we'll see the before and after.
This is how it starts, bro. Then slowly it's like, you know, and then like, you know, it's like you don't need those hairs. And then like, do you really need your penis? You know what I mean? Like, you don't really need that, you know?
Oh my God.
Like you just could just take that
it's
off.
It's a slippery slope. Yeah, no, I think...
it's just like, maybe, you know, your boobs are a little small. You know, maybe you should get boobs. Have you ever thought about that?
God, that's so funny. I do notice... And I get complimented on my eyebrows when they get done. Yeah. It's actually pretty funny, you know, like...
Dude, guys do it, bro. I'm telling you, I'm not the only one. I swear to God, some guys do it. Hey, I've gotten a what's it, with the feet, the pedicure? Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are dope.
Yeah, petties, dude. Petties are the shit. I haven't gotten my nails done. And when I mean done, like, I'm not getting them painted, but, like, I mean, that's what keeps them healthy, you know? Like, you don't want... Sure. You want good looking hands and feet, man. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be well kept. You want to be clean. I'm feeling very proper right now, drinking out of my 'tis the season cup of peppermint mocha of strong coffee, going to get my fucking eyebrows waxed.
Bro, I'm telling you, there's so much masculinity in this car, dude. I swear to God, like, it's just overflowing with testosterone right now, bro.
Oh my God. Did you think that you'd ever be on your way to an eyebrow waxing appointment with me?
I would get my nose waxed, man. I need my nose waxed, dude. My nose hair is gnarly, bro.
Yeah, bro. And you know, but knowing yourself and owning it, you know what I mean? Like, fuck yeah, I get my eyebrows done. What of it?
Yeah,
it costs to look this good, baby.
It does.
You know, you can't just But again, a woman's touch, bro. A woman's touch. If it wasn't for women, men would still live in caves.
Oh yeah.
And there's this idea that the greatest accomplishments in the world are because of women, and I totally agree. Like, you know, we wouldn't be as inspired or motivated to do.
Dude, everything we do is for women. Like, literally
exactly.
Everything
I mean, that's what our motivating factors are. A lot of time is trying to impress a woman or make a woman think that we're worthy or good or whatever the case is. So I am a firm believer in like a woman's touch. You know, like guys wouldn't have rugs if it wasn't for women. Like, what the fuck you need a rug for? You know what I mean? Like, but women, they come in and they show you how much better it could look. You know, and that's something that's been hard for me, where I was talking about receiving feedback. Like, Nikki gives me feedback and I'm like, I think it looks good, but she points out that it could look so much better if I just did this. And then after I do it, it looks 10 times better. And I'm like, wow, this is why I listen to you and your opinions and, you know, all these things.
I never let a girl convince me to get my eyebrows done, but I will say this one thing about what a girl convinced me to do. There's two things I specifically remember a girl kind of changing my outlook on, that I think that was out of my masculine kind of mindset. Is one, putting things in things, right? Mm-hmm. So I never was one to put things in things, but then you live with a woman and she puts things in things, and then you go, you live alone and you go, man, there's so much clutter, you know? It was so much more organized when
Are we going to
put
Ulta,
things.
bro? Is it in Ulta? Yeah, it's in Ulta.
It's Ulta, yeah.
That's crazy. We're about to go into Ulta.
Hey.
Yeah, putting things in things, bro. You're not wrong.
Putting things in things and smells. Mm-hmm. Now I have to have air fresheners.
We're late. So funny. We're really about to fucking walk into Ulta Beauty. Man, the things that... No, I'm doing this for myself, though. You know how easy it was, the things you do for your women. But no, this is for myself, which ultimately is a byproduct for my woman. If I'm not my best self, then I can't be my best for her.
Exactly.
So that's why we're here at Ulta Beauty, about to go get my eyebrows did, son. New Year's, new brows.
New brows.
Just for the salon? Checking in? Or this
Are you here to film me today? I'm ready.
No, yeah. I'm here to get my eyebrows done.
Oh,
am I at the right place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come back over here.
Camera, what are you guys up to?
Oh, we're doing like a documentary thing, but this is part of my day today. So.
All right.
I'm for my eyebrows. I'm here for my eyebrow appointment. It should be under Nicole.
Under Nicole, come on over.
Said to tell you that I was her man's.
Her man's.
And that you were gonna take care of me.
Sure. Do you? If you publish this, you should tag this salon so I can get more business.
Yeah, I'll totally do that. You want to plug yourself? Give yourself a nice.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm at the Lakeline. I'm nervous.
It's okay.
No,
You
do it.
You're good. We're with Sarah at the Lakeline. Where are we?
The magic of
Lakeline
editing.
location of Ulta.
We're at the Lakeline location of Ulta with Sarah.
Yep, and we're gonna do eyebrows.
We're gonna do eyebrows. So come get your eyebrows did. Self-care. We talked about it.
Self-care, dude.
Nikki just sends me here and said, "Go get them done."
Get them done.
I don't know.
I like your eyebrows. You have good eyebrows.
Thank you.
So I mean, really.
I mean, whatever you think. This feels lovely, though.
With the threading, it pulls the hair out slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I guess it depends on who you go to, but really the motion of threading just
Yeah, it is
pulls
weird.
it out slowly.
And it's a healthy cup of coffee. It's got amino acids, adaptogens, nootropics, MCT oil,
Oh, really?
collagen protein. And we actually put the coffee berry, because coffee comes from a berry.
Mm-hmm.
And so we put the coffee berry back in the coffee.
And something I noticed is that you're a little over tweezed right here.
Yeah. So what happened? I think my last haircut, my guy was trying to like, and I like moved, and I think he nipped a little off.
So underneath, I'm just gonna skim your natural shape just here, and then right here it's a little uneven, so I'm gonna take that out, and then the tails I'm gonna shorten just a little bit, so you have a stronger angle.
Okay.
My hand's shaking. You guys got me nervous.
No, don't be nervous. It's okay. No,
See?
there's only 1 million people that are gonna see it. So
Shut up! I hate you.
I'm just kidding. Awesome. Well, I'm excited and terrified at the same time. Those under ones are the ones that she always makes me cry when she plucks those under ones.
It's gonna be way easier with waxing, and also there's not a ton to come off.
Cool.
So, if you had waited 6 weeks since your last tweeze, it would have definitely been like, ow, that hurts.
I don't think I could wait 6 weeks.
Really? You're that hairy?
Oh yeah. Ooh. So fast.
Yeah.
That'll wake you up. You relate to him. Ooh.
Really?
That was a good one right there.
Different.
I totally agree. I also think women have a higher pain tolerance than men. I think just in general. You're built.
I just think it's slightly different.
Maybe it is different. But I don't know, women also give birth, which is like.
That's true. But there's a lot of hormones that get released during that to help the body.
True. Yeah, true. I do, yeah. I mean,
I also don't think we seek out pain. Women will just do things with, like,
knowing that it's gonna hurt
Yeah.
for the betterment of
and do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whereas
there's a consistency.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's a me day. I'm going to the spa to get my legs and
just
butt
pain.
waxed.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that sounds
just the
fun.
most insane pain. Like if we do stupid stuff hoping we don't get hurt.
Mm-hmm. Hoping you don't get hurt.
It's like, oh my god, it does make a huge difference. They look so good. And
Have you guys met? I didn't know if I.
we met in college. She played soccer. I played football.
Aww.
We met. We dated. We broke up. We didn't see each other for like 6 years, and then we reconnected on Instagram. And she's from Hawaii. And then she was like, this was like a year ago now. She said like, oh, I have a layover in Houston. What if I just came to Austin and spent a weekend with you? And I was like,
Yes.
yeah, that should totally happen. We had like the best weekend of my life. And then, but I always knew, I was like, once that door, I mean, I knew Nikki was the one the day I saw her in college. Yeah, right when I saw her, I was like, oh, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
I am in trouble with this one. And so I knew once that door opened again that it was gonna be over with.
Yeah. Put it off.
Yeah. This makes you a real man.
That would do it.
Ooh. I'm not crying.
Yeah, sure.
Not crying. We already did the morning routine, then we went to boxing.
Cold shower, 1,000 pull-ups.
Oh, no.
Boxing.
No, see, like,
Also,
it's a quick pain.
Whip and
is this like a passion for you?
But when you're doing something, just be passionate about it.
Yeah,
You know, like,
yeah.
I don't want my passions to choose me. I want to choose my passion. So,
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah.
Well, when you meet her, at least as another woman, she's
Yeah.
very intimidating. She's beautiful, and she's very still. So when you meet another woman with that kind of power, you're just like, yo, what am I up against? But like when you talk to her, it's like, she's cool.
Yeah. I love that you use the word still. That's a great description of her. She's very still and calm and
Stillness is power.
Stillness is power.
Come back for more.
Yeah.
That's it.
When they were dropping all the way down
Yeah.
here, it's just a little bit sleepy.
Ooh, a little sleepy.
But now
Ooh, and I look like alert. Like, what's up? I'm feeling pretty cute. I do feel like
still a little sticky.
a little sticky, yeah. Or is it? Where is it? Oh, I think it's on my eyelid a little bit. But I feel. Do I look good? Thank you. It was fantastic. Five. If I could give 6 stars, I would.
Awesome.
No, I'm okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Have a nice weekend.
You as well.
Thank you.